What is up, everybody? It is Thursday, August 23rd, 2018. I am sweaty right now. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. I'm a little bit all sweaty right now because I just had a damsel in distress situation happen. My girlfriend was. Hope you guys can hear me all right. My girlfriend was. Am I live? It's got a red dot by it. What does red dot mean? Does that mean we're live or what? I guess so. Anyway, I had a damsel in distress situation that just happened. My girlfriend walks to teach, walks to her work. And I'm just checking this out. Anyway, yeah, so damsel in distress situation. My girlfriend was walking to work, and she called me, and she said that there was a dude following her to work on Santa Monica Boulevard here in Hollywood. And of course, being the man that I am, I rushed to her aid. She had to go inside a Russian store. Like on Santa Monica, they have a lot of Russian like little delis and things. She had to jump inside this store. And she texted me a description of this guy and said, if something happens to me, then this is the guy who did it. And I was like, this is terrible. So I jumped in my car and raced down there. It took me like 2 minutes to get there. And I was asking her where she was, and I saw this guy, and he was actually chilling in front of the store waiting for her, didn't know that she had gone out a different door, apparently. And he was just chilling outside, looking just guilty. So I took a bunch of pictures of him, and then I went and picked her up on the next block, drove back by him and asked if that was the guy, and she said, yes, that's the guy. So what I decided to do was take a bunch of pictures of the guy. So I took a picture of the guy. And I think that's a reportable situation. I don't know if he didn't do anything. I asked her, I said, you know, do you think we should report this guy? And she's like, well, he didn't do anything. Well, yeah, he was obviously following you. So maybe if this guy's some kind of a suspect in a bunch of rapist cases or something, it might be nice for the guy to like get caught, right? So I don't know. You guys can be the judge maybe. I think we're going to do something, at least go down there and talk to the police about it, just in case they happen to be looking for some crazy rapist around here who they can't find, and I happen to have a picture on my phone of the guy. Might be nice for them to find out. Anyway, we're going to get to the dating questions for those of you who are tuning in, and today we're doing this publicly. This is a public broadcast today. It's live. If you can hear some fans in the background, sorry, it's because I just had to like race down in my air conditionerless. I have an old muscle car and it doesn't have air conditioning, so I was just outside in the heat for a while, so I turned my AC on. So if you're wondering what that thing is in the background, that's my air conditioner. Anyway, let's get to the questions. This question comes from girlfriendfastlane.com in our forum, where if you'd like to, you are welcome to come and join us, ask your own questions, and we answer them just like we're going to do today for the public. Normally this is not something that I do for the public, but we're doing it today for you guys because it's a special Thursday. So if you have questions right now, put them in the chat on the right-hand side, and I will answer those for you as soon as I can. Anything and everything goes here. You ask it, we're going to answer it. It's that kind of day, and I'm that kind of guy. Can you believe it? Holy smoke. So here we go. First question comes from the forum, and it is from Jamal. Jamal says, in a bar or a club, how do you isolate a girl, and what do you say to her to get her to go with you to a dark corner and make out? All right. So let's talk about this situation. Jamal wants to take girls to dark corners and make out with them. What does he have to do to get her alone or away from her friends? And what do you say with her? Well, first of all, let's talk about what you want to do. What kind of a situation would you be in where it would be a good choice to do this? Okay. I don't see any chat questions yet, so we'll do this first. All right. So if you would like to get a girl to go to a dark corner and make out with you, what you should first do is you should first have talked to the girl. You should first make sure that the girl seems attracted to you. Oftentimes she would ask you a question like, you know, after you've been, you know, talking a little bit, she's going to say like, well, what do you do? Or where are you from? And those are going to be like your indications that the girl's really into you. when you find out that a girl is really attracted to you, then you want to kind of decide, how long do you want to stick around with this girl? Do you want to stick around with her forever? Do you want to just spend a few minutes with her and go back to your friends? What do you want to do, right? And in this situation, if you've decided that you're going to stick around with the girl and you're going to start learning about each other and you're going to start talking about, your lives and questions about each other and all that stuff, sometimes you want to do that when you are, in a place where you can make out, because a girl's not going to want to make out with you. And conversely, you're not going to want to make out with her if, you're just in the middle of the public. This is not a middle school event at the bar. In middle school, people think it's okay to just like make out in front of other people. And, in high school, and, this is not that. I always find that when I'm in a bar and I see somebody just like, just like making out in front of everybody, I feel like it's really tacky. I feel like it also puts a lot of social pressure on the girl. So I would much rather be in a location like in the bar, sitting down somewhere. I would probably be away from the general public if I was going to kiss a girl. And personally, I'm not a big fan of just having random makeouts in the bar anyway. Like, I don't know if it's the most prudent choice, if it's the most tasteful choice. I would say that the classiest thing that you could do would be to take a girl's number, sit down with her, and gracefully let her know that you'll talk to her later. And then I think in that manner of taking a girl's number and seeing her later, you show a lot of outcome independence. You don't really care what the outcome is with her. You're not an eager, aggressive guy who's just looking for sloppy makeouts in the bar. I think that angle will provide you, the situation and her with a little more sexual comfort, sexual tension. So in other words, if you're talking with the girl, you start to like each other, you start to get to know each other, and then you take a number, and then you don't try something like that, I don't think that this girl's going to worry that you're not a sexual enough guy. I don't think that she's going to worry that something's wrong with you. I think instead she's going to think that, oh, wow, that was a really cool interaction. I really like that guy, and I'm really curious about that guy, maybe more so than if you're a guy who just tries to make out with her. Okay, so that said, let's talk about the situation where you actually do want to just make out with this girl, because I know that a lot of you guys want to do just that in a bar. Okay? So what I would do if that was the case and I wanted to kiss a girl, I would probably say, once I figured out that I wanted to stick around with her and we started that kind of a conversation, when she starts asking questions like, so what do you do for a living or whatever, you've been talking to this girl a few minutes, once you've decided that you kind of are going to have a conversation with this girl, once it's been 5 or 10 minutes, what I would probably do is I would probably walk over. I would say, hey, you want to sit down, or you want to grab another drink, or, I would just say, hey, let's go over here. Hey, let's go over here. I want to sit down. And that's all I would say. The girl says no, she doesn't want to sit down, then you don't sit down with her. And or maybe she's not comfortable or whatever, and if she is, then you say, okay, let's go sit down. And then when you're sitting down and you're getting to know each other, that would be the time when you could start working towards a kiss if that's what you want to do. But again, I would make sure that you're not doing this like, in front of her friends. It might be a great idea to know who she's with and let them know that you're going to be over there, so they're not just endlessly looking around for their lost friend and then you're responsible when they show up. That might be a nice move, don't you think? So that's how I would do that, Jamal. That's how I would isolate a girl. And what do you say to her? The question is, what do you say to her to get her to go with you to a dark corner to make out? I would probably not say, hey, do you want to go to this dark corner and make out over here? Unless you guys were like, I don't know, kind of having that kind of a vibe. If it's like really the end of the night and you're drunk, I guess, I don't know. That's pretty weird thing to say to a girl. Even the idea that you have that in your mind that you're like, how do I get her to go to the dark corner and make out is a little creepy. Just say, hey, you want to go sit down for a second? And I would just not be making out in front of everybody. That's probably what I would do. All right, so next question. Let's see what we got here. Well, you know what? We don't have any questions yet in the chat. Hoping that some more people will join us here. So we're going to go to another question from our forum here at thegirlfriendfastlane.com. Let me double check that this event is actually live streaming on YouTube. I think want to make sure it's a public event so that everybody can see this. I don't want, sometimes these are not public events, but yep, it's public. So all right, so we're going to talk about some boyfriend objections because a lot of guys I find get boyfriend objections. You can go online and you can look at 1,000 videos on YouTube and everybody has kind of a similar explanation, but nobody seems to really know the business. Nobody seems to really know the real thing that's going on, you know? So this is from a field report on girlfriendfastlane.com. And the field report is talking about a guy who meets a girl. And actually this guy goes out and meets a lot of girls. And he goes out and he meets some girls, and they're, you know, he says like 8 out of 10 of these girls are telling him that he has a boyfriend, or that she has a boyfriend. So the guy walks up, he talks to the girl, and she says, "Oh, I'm sorry, I have a boyfriend." Okay, so let's talk about what's happening there. Let's make sure this camera's good. So here's what happens. Let's say you're in a bar and you go up to a girl and she says, "I have a boyfriend." Okay, so what happens there? Why does that happen? And what can we do about it? Okay. The first thing that we have to do when we want to understand any situation at a bar is we want to try to be empathetic to the girl's perspective of what's going on. Okay. So if a girl says, "Oh, I have a boyfriend," okay, let's ask ourselves, why would a girl say that to a guy? Okay. If you walk up, if I'm a girl, let's say that I'm a girl for a second, and I decide that I want to tell a guy, "Oh, I have a boyfriend." I'm saying that because I need to let him know, for whatever reason, that I'm taken, okay? So a girl is saying she has a boyfriend to let you know that she's taken, okay? So there are 2 scenarios that could happen where a girl feels that she is feeling the need to tell you that she has a boyfriend in the bar. Why would she feel the need to tell you that she has a boyfriend? Well, for whatever reason, she's picked up on the idea that you are interested in having her as a girlfriend, or you are interested in her sexually, okay? So the important thing to ask yourself as a guy who is meeting girls for the first time is, what thing did I do that gave this girl the idea that what thing did I do that gave this girl the idea that I liked her? Enough so that she wanted to tell me that she had a boyfriend, okay? Now, there's 2 scenarios. Obviously, one, the girl could have a boyfriend. She picks up on the idea that you kind of are interested in her, and she's just letting you know and being frank, okay? That's one possibility. The other possibility is you didn't do a good enough job. She didn't really like you, and she's letting you down easily. She's saying, "Oh, I see that you like me, and I want to let you know that I have a boyfriend." So girls will do this because they don't just want to be girls don't want to be dicks. Girls don't want to just be like, girls have to turn down a lot of guys. So if a girl always says the frank answer about what's going on, it's just not something that happens, you know? A girl doesn't want, like, let's say a guy walks up and his hair is really disheveled and he's really nasty looking. And he's like, "Hey, I like you." The girl's not going to go, "Well, you know what? You look really nasty and disgusting, so I'm not going to date you." A girl doesn't say that because that's not nice. "Oh, I want to be a nice girl and I don't want to be mean to people. So what I'm going to do is lie instead and tell the guy that I have a boyfriend." And that'll be a gentle way to shoot him down, okay? So this is something that could be happening to you, right? You could be the guy on the receiving end of that where the girl just doesn't like you for whatever reason, and that's what's going on, okay? So there are a variety of reasons that this could happen, a variety of reasons that she couldn't like you, you know? And it depends, I believe, on how deep into your interaction this happens, okay? So let's say you talk to a girl and almost right away she says, "Well, I have a boyfriend," okay? You know, if you get this one time a night, I would say don't worry about it. It's probably honest, right? But if you're getting this 8 times a night and you talk to 10 girls, what's more than likely happening is you are prematurely telegraphing interest to that girl. What I mean by that is you are doing or saying something to let this girl know that you like her, and you're doing that before she likes you. It's okay for you to kind of let a girl in on the fact that you're interested in that, you know, in her, but you need to do that after you know that she likes you, because girls like to have a little bit of wonder, you know. I always say the first rule in attraction is a girl has to not know whether or not you like her in order to become attracted to you, because a girl wants to find out, you know, wonder. She wants to wonder if a guy likes her, and she wants to kind of work for it a little bit, and then she wants to meet, and then finally she's like, oh, maybe he does like me, and then she gets to go on a date with you, and there's a lot of anticipation and build up. And the reason she likes that is because she's been socialized to believe that that's the way it should happen. You know, for a guy's value to be equal to her, that's the way that should happen. So it's really important that you kind of, you know, recreate that experience for the girl. And if you're letting a girl know that you like her too easily and too quickly, then she feels like she's forced to like say something to you. Like she feels like she's kind of compelled to make a decision. And that decision, if she's not attracted to you yet, is always going to be no. Okay, so this creates a difficult problem for you if you're a guy who wants to, you know, meet a girl, because if every girl thinks that you like her too soon, then they all say they have a boyfriend. How do you decide, you know, which girl has a boyfriend really and which girl doesn't? Well, like I said, one clue is going to be how quickly she does that in the interaction. Because if, you know, a girl will do this right after she's kind of made a decision. So if it happens really early in the interaction and you're forcing a girl to make these decisions and you're getting a boyfriend objection, the girl's like, I have a boyfriend. If she's doing that very early in the interaction, odds are you've telegraphed interest way too prematurely, okay? If she's doing it later in the interaction, like you've been talking with her 5 minutes, the odds are you've done pretty well up to that point and she's been interested in you but maybe not attracted. So if it's happening later on in the interaction, the reason why is probably because she's kind of thought about it. Okay, do I like this guy? She's a little bit interested. And then she's like, nah, I got to let this guy down, right? A boyfriend objection happens because the girl knows the guy's interested and she feels compelled to make a decision about that guy in that moment. And if you're getting that a lot, it's because you're telegraphing interest prematurely. In other words, you don't know it's happening, but you're giving the girl the idea that you like her, right? And you're doing that before her attraction towards you is mature. In other words, before she likes you. That's a big turnoff. I would say it's the #1 mistake that guys make in the whole world with dating, is letting a girl know. And there's this whole brand of dudes out there right now who are like, what you should do is just be a man, okay? And when you're a man, you should walk up to a girl and say, I like you. I'm interested in you. And that's what I do. I just tell all these girls I like them. But the reality is that a guy who has abundance, a guy who has his choice of women, doesn't know, and a mature guy doesn't know if he likes a girl yet just by the way she looks. Yes, you can say, yeah, the girl's really hot, I'm interested in her, but you shouldn't be sold on a girl yet. I think being sold on a girl before you talk to her is creepy, because you know, guys who can date whoever they want, they know that some girls, even when they're hot, suck, okay? And they know that they're not going to like every girl. So they're not going to walk up and say something like that to a girl, something like, hey, you're really hot and I'm really interested in you, so I just wanted to say hi. That's not something that a guy who's cool says. That's something that a guy who watched pickup videos on YouTube says. So, you know, I would much prefer you walk up and have a genuine interaction with somebody where you bump into each other. I've got some techniques for bumping into each other if you guys want those, but more of a natural interaction where you guys happen to start talking. You kind of feel out if you like each other, and then you can go further. I feel like that's a lot more honest and natural way to meet somebody, and that's the way I just prefer these days, if that makes sense. So if you are a guy who's getting a lot of boyfriend objections, a lot of people who are like, you know, a lot of girls you're meeting who are like, I have a boyfriend, I have a boyfriend, I have a boyfriend. You should really look at what happened in the 5 seconds before she said, I had a boyfriend, or before she says, I have a boyfriend. Look at what happened in the 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds before that. And the odds are you can isolate a behavior of yours that let this girl in onto the fact that you liked her. And that was obviously what happened before she likes you. I'll give you another trick here. If you watch a video online and you see a guy who's teaching, he's a pickup artist and he's teaching girls, and you see like some video of him online and the girl says, well, I have a boyfriend. And then he tries to like work through that. That's a guy who's not very experienced and a guy who shouldn't be coaching. And I'll tell you why. Generally, when you have removed this type of behavior from you, these types of telegraphing behaviors, when you've removed those from you and you've replaced those behaviors with genuinely getting to know somebody in a fun, attractive way. You've got some things to say that are fun. You're good at conversation. You're not going to get as many boyfriend objections that are fake because you're not making that mistake of telegraphing interest. Okay. So what you'll find online is you'll find a lot of these guys who are pickup artists who are walking up to girls and they're saying, "Hey, you're just really hot. I wanted to come by and say hello," or whatever. Or, if I'm honest, it's a little bit, they try to do it smoother than that. They'll be like, "Hey, I just thought you're really cute, and I wanted to stop by, or I wanted to say hi," something like that, right? Now, it seems pretty harmless, and genuinely you'll see a girl kind of smile because she's happy to get a compliment that you like her, but then quickly you'll see a lot of girls being like, "No, I have a boyfriend," okay? And this is the part where pickup artists and dudes who are hitting on girls get real fucking, sorry, excuse my language, get real creepy. These dudes push and try to force their way through that. And that's where I think that things kind of get ugly for the guy and for the, all of us guys who are either teaching guys to meet girls or who have been through this process ourselves. The last thing you want to do is seem like some creepy dude all the time, especially when you're putting videos out where you claim to be an expert, right? So you're not an expert if you've got a bunch of videos up and it's just you plowing through boyfriend objections all day long because you tell all these girls you like them when you don't know any better to know that you were not going to like every girl who happens to talk to you or who happens to walk by you. So anyway, there's my beef with with boyfriend objections. We'll sum this all up. It's because you've telegraphed interest to the girl. In other words, she knows you're interested in her, and that interest that she sees from you is causing her to feel like she has to make a decision about you right now. When that happens before the girl likes you, of course the answer is going to be no, and she's going to shoot you down in a way that she believes is nice. And that way is by telling you, "Oh, I have a boyfriend," okay? So, what do you do about that when it happens? Well, the first thing I would do is I would try to make sure that I would look for the behavior that I'm doing that's causing the girl to have that reaction to me, and I'd try to eliminate that behavior. That's the best thing you can do, right? Let that girl figure out what you're doing wrong and take that away so you're not doing that anymore. The best thing to do isn't to think of 26 things to say or the perfect thing to say when a girl says that, so you can work through it and creep your way into pushing and forcefully pushing the girl socially to stay with it. Guys oftentimes they'll say things like, "Well, I don't care," or "Prove it to me. Prove it to me that you have a girlfriend," or "Prove it to me that you have a boyfriend." Well, girlfriend too. They'll say they're lesbians too, but they'll say "prove it," or they'll say, "Well, I don't care about that," or "Where is he?" All those things are weird because they're pushy. You don't need to be pushy. What you should do is realize you messed up and then not do that anymore. That's my take on boyfriend objections. The other thing you could do is if a girl I feel like when I talk to girls, I've genuinely removed intention, and that's because I have a girlfriend, right? So if I'm talking to girls and I'm at a workshop, it's generally just to create conversation or to, be a good wingman or that kind of a thing. And since I know that I've genuinely removed intention and that still happens sometimes, even to the best of us, a girl gets the idea that you like her when you're just being nice to her. When that happens, you can simply tell the girl yeah, that wasn't really my intention here to have you as a, that wasn't really my intention. I don't know where you got that intention. Do you really have a boyfriend? And she'll say, "Yeah, I really do." I'll be like, "Oh, okay, cool. I have a girlfriend too," right? We're over that. I'm just being social, That's a good out too. All right, so let's see if we have any more questions. We got a few people watching. Anybody have a question out there? Let's go to questions. I've been talking enough. We're here for an hour, guys. Doing the free live stream for girlfriendfastlane.com. Doing this as a promotion for the website. If you guys have not been there yet, you can go to secure.girlfriendfastlane.com and you can get your free list of 330 text messages that I personally wrote myself. And you can start sending those to girls. That's the only way right now in through the website, since I'm not a marketing genius. So if you're interested in having some free text messages, you can send to girls. They really work. I really wrote them. They're good. Send them out. Try them. If you got some girl you want to reconnect with, that's what that's for. give that a shot. secure.girlfriendfastlane.com. You can check those out there. And it's also, you know, there's a text message multiplier I put in there as well. And what that is you can change any of these messages to voice or maybe a meme, those kinds of things. They're really great text messages. They're counterintuitive. They're going to force you to going to go, there's no way that that guy knows what he's doing. So I'm not going to send that. I'm not comfortable with that. But I'd encourage you guys to be comfortable, give it a shot, and see what happens. Looks like we had some connectivity problems, and now we're back live here. I'm just going to refresh the screen and make sure we're doing well here. Again, put your questions in the chat. I'm refreshing here to see if we got any new questions. If not, we're going to move on. We are going to move on and talk about other topics. Let's see here. My connectivity is super slow. I apologize for that, guys. I don't know what it is. Trying to bring up YouTube in the chat here, and it's not working out for me so well, but try this again. How can I answer the questions if I can't see the chat? Anyways, I'm still waiting for this to load here, but boyfriend objections solved. Look at how easy that was. And it's not just say this or say that. Giving you guys solid, actionable items here. Can you believe it? How awesome is that? All right, I'm still waiting for this sucker to load here. What else can we talk about? We got people showing up. We're live on YouTube. We can't see the page. Sorry, guys. Hoping this fixes itself quite quickly. I guess I can talk about the website for a little bit. Oh, you know what? Let's talk about how much other people suck who teach. I'll tell you guys, the idea behind the Girlfriend Fastlane is I taught workshops for a number of years, and a lot of guys are asking the same questions in workshop. And so we would tour the country and tour the world, and we would teach these workshops, and we would charge, you know, a couple of grand or more for these workshops. What happens is guys ask the same questions. We give them a small amount of information, and then the guy moves on and goes and maybe takes another workshop or comes back again, those kinds of things. So I started thinking to myself, like, well, this is all stuff that I could teach just on a video online, right? If you guys are talking about going to a workshop, you know, there's a lot of companies who are like, I'll teach you, and myself included, I'll still teach you a workshop, but I think the purpose of going to a dating instructor, the purpose of going to a workshop is definitely not to have some guy teach you something that you can learn online, okay? Information is very easy to come by these days, right? Maybe not a comprehensive group of information, but information is quite easy to come by. You know what's not easy to come by? What is not easy to come by these days is having balls, having social courage, being a guy who can step out there and actually take advantage of the situation he's in by opening his mouth, you know? It's very hard as a guy to walk up and say something that you don't feel confident about to a girl you've never met before, and, you know, have the opportunity to get your, you know, to get your ass handed to you is not an easy thing, right? But finding information these days is pretty easy. You can get information in a lot of places. What I've decided to do with the Girlfriend Fastlane is to keep you guys and keep a whole bunch of people from spending $3,500 on a workshop that you don't need when you can just go to the website, girlfriendfastlane.com, right? And I've made all kinds of video tutorials about every single topic in dating. They're all there in one spot. It's 29 bucks a month if you guys are interested. You can go to girlfriendfastlane.com and you can sign up. But you don't have to go to like one of these other companies and spend $3,500. I'll tell you what you do spend money on. What you should spend money on and what you may need is when you're plateauing, when you're a guy who like can't get past something, or you don't have just what it takes to talk to girls the first time, or you know, you've had a really rough breakup and you're having trouble dealing with it. You know, that's when you get me on the phone or on a Zoom conversation, and we can talk about that and we can process that. You know, if you want to meet up with somebody in person, somebody who's experienced, who can look at your interactions and go, oh, here's what's going wrong. You know, that's necessary when you can't figure out what's happening between you and the women you talk to. It is not necessary for you to go to a workshop to learn some stuff that you can learn from a video online, right? But you can go there to get some social courage and to have some help gaining social courage. But you shouldn't spend $3,500 to do that. You should first try a website, and you should first not succumb to a bunch of marketing, because I don't think that's cool. So let me check this chat out here. Touching questions, anyone? Put them here in the chat. We got some people watching. We got some people watching who don't want to ask questions, but that's okay. Ask me a question. Ask me anything. Let's do this. At girlfriendfastlane.com. You can ask me anything you want. I probably have the answer. And if I don't, I'll tell you. I don't have the answer. Let's see what we got going on here. It says, I think it says we're live. It doesn't seem like we're live. Normally, I've been live before, and it seems like we have more viewers. Oh, that was Periscope. That was Periscope. I feel like I'm... All right, so what do we got going on here? Definitely says I'm live. Definitely we got a couple of viewers. Who's watching? What's your question? I think we got a few people watching here. I'm just wondering if anybody has any questions, or we're just lurking, trying to figure out who I am, which is fine. My name's Jake. For those of you who don't know, I've been a dating coach here in Hollywood, for an underground dating coach for the past 10 years. And what that means is I didn't show my face, and I didn't let anybody know what I look like. I just hung out in Hollywood, and I taught guys for 10 years dating skills. And now here I am pushing 40, doing the same thing for you guys today from the comfort of my air-conditioned home. What else can we talk about today? You know what? Let me pull up the forum, see if I can find another question for us to go through, since I'm going to be here anyway. A lot of the students on Girlfriend Fastlane, they put their questions in what we call the office hours section. And in the office hours section, if you are not here today for right now, normally this is a private Q&A session. And if you're not here, you can leave your question and I'll answer your question for you. So let's talk about some texting tips. How about that? Which one? So we had a guy in the forum who's doing some texting, and I'm going to talk about some texting tips because I want to make this session, since it's a public session, I want to make these texting tips. I want to make this session versatile. I want to show kind of a few different, forms of questions that we get. One of the questions we get on the Girlfriend Fastlane is we get a lot of texting, people who post screenshots of their text message conversations, and then I give them advice on what to say or what happened or what went wrong. I happen to be an expert in texting. I wrote a book a few years ago called Flawless Texting. It was a 200-page book on texting. And so I give a lot of texting advice to guys. So we're going to go through kind of a typical a texting thread that went on. Let me see here. You know what? I'm going to go through this, and I'm not going to read exactly what happened. But what I am going to do is I'm going to give you guys some tips on texting, okay? So the first tip we're going to go through is, what should I do here? All right, let's talk about one thing I see that guys do, one thing that this guy did, is he texts a girl the night he meets her just to say hi. And that's a good thing that you can do when you just meet a girl, because if you text a girl just to say, when you get a girl's number, you put that number in your phone and you say, hey, I'm texting you. Text you right now. Did you get it? And that's a great way to know that the girl got your number. If you see or got your text. It's a good way to know that the girl's not saying, giving you a fake number, something like that. And when you do that and a girl texts you back that night, I would recommend you don't text. I'd recommend you just let that go for the night and move on about your merry way. And then I think you should decide next when you want to text the girl. A lot of guys ask, do I text her the next day? Do I text her 2 days? Do I text her 3 days later? All those three are okay. You can text a girl the day after you meet her. You can text her the second day, and you can text her the third day. The decision that you make should depend upon two factors, though. Those two factors are, how soon or how far away you text a girl can determine how eager you could look to the girl. For instance, if you text this girl right after you met her, that could appear very eager. Okay, the second thing you need to consider after you consider how eager you could appear, right? If you texted this girl 3 or 4 days later, it's not going to look very eager. But the second thing you should consider is how you believe that that will strike the girl. In other words, if I texted the girl the day after I met her, did we have a great connection and everything seems awesome? And of course I would text her. And if I text her, she would probably think, oh gosh, that's so awesome. This guy's not playing any games with me. If that's the case, then I think you should text the girl the day after because she's not going to interpret your texting the next day as being eager, okay? However, if you think about your interaction and you go, man, if I texted this girl the next day, she'd probably think that was a little too eager, then I would say that you should wait till the second or the third day to text that girl. If you really think that, oh, this girl isn't quite sold on me, I'd err on the side of waiting a little bit longer if I were you. So there's another texting tip for you. Another texting tip is when you text a girl, okay? If you are texting a girl on a Friday or a Saturday, you should probably text her before 3:30 in the afternoon. You should be texting this girl 7 o'clock, especially if it's the first time. Like let's say you just got a girl's number and you're texting her for the first time. Don't text this girl at 7 o'clock on a Friday or a Saturday night. You're not going to get a response back. She's already doing something. Just wait. It's going to look like you don't have a life. She's going to be out at dinner with her friends or on a date, and she's going to be like, this dude I met the other night doesn't get it. Not only is he totally obviously available on a Friday or a Saturday night, which makes you look not cool, she's going to judge you, and that's not going to be good for you. It's not going to bode well for you. So that's another texting tip for you guys. Again, if you're just showing up, I see if you guys are just showing up on the stream, feel free to write your questions on the right. My name is Jake. I'm with thegirlfriendfastlane.com, and I am here to answer your dating questions live on YouTube on this lovely Thursday we have here. Coming at you straight from Hollywood, California. Welcome to the chat. On with the texting tips. More texting tips for you guys. The next texting tip I have for you is when you send a text to a girl, before you send the text, read the text and think about what you would like the girl to respond. Do you expect the girl to respond with a yes or a no, or what do you expect the girl to respond? If that thing that you are expecting the girl to respond to you is only one word, you can probably expect that that girl's not going to text you back, okay? So you might want to ask her a better question, something that's a little more, less yes and no and more, something that's more engaging than that. And if you text a girl, don't text her 16 times in a row. Text the girl once, wait for a response, then text the girl again. What's generally going to happen when you text a girl is in the beginning of texting her, you're going to have to put in a little more effort. You're going to have to say a little more words than she says, okay? So you might have a bigger text at the beginning, and the girl texts you, not very much. Then you're going to text the girl again, and then she's going to text you maybe a little bit more. The idea is that in the beginning, you're texting the girl with more words and possibly a slightly more frequency than she is. And then as the conversation develops, you should kind of even off, and then the girl should start texting you a little bit more and a little bit more in depth with longer texts. That's a reflection of what I call texting length and investment. In the beginning of getting a girl, you're going to need to invest a little bit more into the conversation, and you're going to, and the same goes for texting, right? So when you text a girl, you're going to have to invest more at the very beginning. Then as she starts to warm up to you, she'll want to invest a little bit more to get to know you. That's when you'll start seeing a little bit longer texts from her. So, in other words, the person who texts more frequently with a longer text is generally investing more. So in the beginning, the woman is going to be the person in the dominant position because you are the one seeking her. So you should be the one to initiate text. You should never tell a girl, hey, text me on Friday. Dude, she's not going to text you. She doesn't care. She doesn't need to text you. You're the one that wants to get to know her. You should open your mouth and you should text the girl because she is in that position, not you. You're not in the position of being wanted. You know, most of the guys who are seeking out dating advice, you're not Leonardo DiCaprio. You're a random dude trying to text a girl. You should be the one to text her. That was texting tip number, I don't know, 87B. Texting tip number 87B. If you guys have questions once again, see a few more people joining the chat. I'm Jake at thegirlfriendfastlane.com. Doing a little chatty chat today, talking about some texting tips, some dating tips. Yeah, texting tips, dating tips, more texting tips. Let's talk about another texting tip called do not put multiple subjects in your text, okay? Your text should have a singular idea. You shouldn't say something like, hey, I was thinking we could go to the store later, you know? What are you doing today? Yesterday I went to this place and blah, 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 blah. Okay, if that girl has 20 different subjects to respond to, she's gonna think you're a neurotic mess. She's gonna be like, what's this dude's deal? Why is he texting me 46 subjects in a row? She's probably gonna pick one and be a little bit annoyed. What I think a lot of guys don't understand is that many, many girls are so well versed in texting that they are easily annoyed, especially if a girl is, you know, a very good-looking girl. She's probably had a million text conversations, you know, with a lot of different guys who are trying to get her. And this type of thing is not only uncomfortable, but I suppose if I got a text like that from a girl, I'd be like, oh God, this girl wants to have 20 conversations in one text. What's her deal? You know, I probably wouldn't like that. And a girl is not going to like that either. So send one text and then wait for an answer.